Today's episode is brought to you by FNX. If you're looking to lose weight, gain weight in the most healthiest way possible, FNX is where you need to go. You're talking about a section you're looking to gain weight. There's a section you're trying to lose weight. There's also even a section you're trying to better your performance when you're out there trying to be the best you. Please go to the link that is in this video. But also, you have to look the part. We're trying to unlock that inner athlete in you. Speaking of inner athlete, hey, you know how we get down. So, fill up your shopping carts. Once you get to checkout, use the promo code BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout. What is going on, damn it? Oh, well, I ain't tripping. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the B.TS show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Have not done this in a while. Boy, I miss doing this. My schedule has been extremely hectic. What's been going on? Well, out of the 11 neighbors that surround me, one or more of them has some bad habits and it's going to cost us to move. So much so that none of this equipment is coming with us. No furniture, none of our clothes. Like dry cleaning is still an option, but for a select few clothes, that is worth going to the dry cleaners for. But a lot of this stuff, man, I've just been so busy working. I had to replace a lot of things. Now, good news is we I expect this to be a 7 rack problem, but I only spent less than a rack and I got half of the things taken care of, which is a blessing. Thank you, God, for that one. Still got like 36, 3,700 more dollars to go in regards to fixing things. I think we could get there. Actually, I know we can get there. It's just gonna take a little while. And on top of that, I have I'm getting ready to go back to school for my final semester. I'm gonna get my bachelor's degree hopefully in the month of May, maybe June, however this program does it. Also, I'm going to look into getting into cybersecurity field. Those know what I do for a living. I do security, tactical security as of now. I got my 10,000 hours in and security in general. So now I want to move up in a different career, somewhat of a different career, something new, something more financially fulfilling. And I'm not scared to say it. Hey, I need that money. I need to be considered a high class. At least I need to get paid for it. So what you got to do? I got my degree that I'm looking to get. I'm gonna combine that with my cybersecurity certificates, and on top of that, I'm still going to school for my master's as well. The more knowledge you obtain, the more dangerous of an individual you will be, in a good way, of course. So, why I still got this old man thing going on? Hey, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try to learn as much as I can and be that guy. And just to let everybody know, we are simulcasting YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We will bring in Clubhouse when we get to the main topic. That's when we'll bring to Clubhouse because this conversation is inspired by Clubhouse. And in last call, there's something we have to talk about that took place on Clubhouse today. I'm gonna talk about it. I won't mention nobody's names, but we're gonna get into it. But let's go ahead and get our first video. Excuse me, our second advertisement. Then once that is done, let's go ahead and talk about Gary Owen.
Today's episode is brought to you by Wavilo. Of course, you guys see me with my Bakari watch. Looks nice, don't it? But if I wanted to go out, just a casual wear, and it's kind of chilly outside, not bad. Let's add some more color to it. Ooh, that's gonna look good for the photo shoot. Get with the brand that's versatile, that can cover you in all areas of fashion for men and women. So go to the link that's in this video, fill up your shopping cart. Once you do, the promo code is BTSI for 50% off. I repeat, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
All right, let's get into some quick hits, shall we? Now, let's talk about this morning in regards to the buzz, which is Gary Owen. His interview on the Breakfast Club. Yes, all of that interview was pertaining to his divorce. That interview was 45 minutes long, basically, a little bit over. Talked about the divorce from King and Duke, and things we didn't know about, like the fallout with his kids, the healing process, so on and so forth. Now, so in regards to Gary, what happened? It's just simple. He just say he wasn't happy in his relationship anymore, and this is not the first time he wasn't happy. He had to. He said it's time to go. Shout out to Jay. What's going on, fam? Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. Gary, like I said, Gary's just unhappy in his relationship, and he said, "You know what? I got to get out of here." I hate that it happened to it. He wanted to handle this low key as much as possible. I get it. I understand. But TMZ, fucking TMZ, got whiff of it and let the whole world know. And that's where the falling out with his kids came in, because even they didn't know. They was blindsided by this shit. Here's the thing. I don't, as a married man, I don't condone divorce. I don't. Jay, yes, he is. That white guy. The problem with all of this is he chose his own happiness. He put that above everything. He's not the first. He won't be the last. And because he chose his own happiness, which is selfish as hell. Now your kids don't fuck with you. Now some part of the family don't fuck with you. And I want this to be an example for ladies, because majority of them are following the divorces. You saw what happened to Gary. You leave a relationship because of whatever your feelings. You're leaving because of your feelings. You're not leaving something concrete, something hard evidence, or anything like that. You're not. Instead, you say, "It's my life. I'm gonna do what I want. Now what?" His kids don't even fuck with them. And one thing that women try to do is try to guilt trip their kids into riding with them in the divorce or whatever the case may be. And I say, no, there's nothing you can do but admit that you put a hole in a family and you self sabotage it. Now, it seems like I'm turning this on women or whatever the case may be, but we all know who leads a divorce filings. Now, you see this one guy do it, and you see what happens to him. So, ladies, I want to ask you before I bring up my Clubhouse crew: is it worth it? To Gary Owens, was it worth it? I can't I can't fathom never speaking to my children. See, when it comes, see, this is why I tell you guys, stop putting your feelings as the foundation of a marriage. Yes, they've been married for 23 years. Congratulations. They're divorced. So what? And this is why people don't like what I be saying because they say I sound like a robot when I be talking. Like you keep saying, put responsibilities and duties as the foundation of marriage. Yeah, that way you stay married and your love will be the cherry on top. Gary could say all the things he did for his kids. Granted, all his kids are adults. I get it. But even with that being said, because I'm still stuck on that part, your adult children don't want to fuck with you because you still chose your happiness above the family. Yes, I understand. They're adults. They're going to have to get over that. But nevertheless, my brother, was it worth it? Was it worth calling your daughter and she didn't want to pick up? Was it worth going to her house and she didn't want to pick up the door for Super Bowl? She did not go to Super Bowl because that means she would have to be with you. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. And that was quick hits, ladies and gentlemen. I now got Clubhouse in the mix. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up. I'm gonna go ahead and play this third commercial. When we get back, let's talk about this gay agenda and the two people that are responsible for me doing this room. Better hurry up and get their asses in here. Let's get to this commercial and I'll be right back.
Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. That is very beneficial. Also, these gel pens. Put the gel on each tooth. Do it correctly. Follow the manual. And, well, you know, we have a charger. It comes with a charger. I wonder why. That's right, an LED mouthpiece. This is very beneficial, y'all, as y'all can see. For the blue, it is on for 15 minutes. And once that is done, let's go purple, pink, whatever color you prefer to call it. Let's do that for 10 minutes. Go to Brytn Smile. The link is located in the description. Grab a kit, put it in your shopping cart, and when you get to the checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
Build it as we fly it, ladies and gentlemen. We're building it as we fly it. All right, we are here. Let's get to the topic, the gay agenda. Now, as I ping my audience members um, into this room, what is well the quick sorry. Some of you guys will know that I spoke on this several months ago in regards to the gay agenda reveal. And there was no big issue. So much so, I put it for last call. Hey, Sabrina, give me 1 second. So, all right, there we go. Let me invite. Let me turn this up. All right. We're now in business. Hey, Sabrina.
Hey, Christopher J. How's it going?
Good, good. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for pulling me up. I saw that you had a room going on, so I just wanted to come and support however in whatever capacity that I can. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was I took a day off from work today to run errands, and now I'm just so busy being at work that now I'm home by myself because my wife's in Dallas for the week. My son is with the in-laws. I don't know what to do with myself.
Workaholic as usual. I love it.
Absolutely, that I am. But at least I get 8 hours of sleep. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. I always like to come in, and even if I'm just listening in, you guys always have great conversations. So I just wanted to come and support. What are we talking about today?
I appreciate that. This episode. Oh, heads up, just to let you know, we are being simulcast. We are live right now on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Clubhouse.
Amazing.
Just want to let you know that. Today, we're talking about the gay agenda. Now, ironically, I spoke about this several months ago for like a few minutes. It wasn't really that big of a topic, in my opinion, but I just wanted to speak on it and get it out the way. And how does room transpire? Friday. This is what I consider a Tuesday conversation. Friday, I like to be really relaxed, but the room that I was in, people try to make it too serious, and I was like, let's have this room on Tuesday. I'll even host it. We'll talk about it. I did it. I did it in favor of two people. One, both of them is not in here, but they need to hurry up and get in here. But the cameras is rolling, the lights are flashing, so we got to keep it going. Hey Jay, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Let's go ahead and get started with this. We hear every time we open our phones, we watch the news, we always hear about the gay agenda. And usually that comes at the expense of our children. When you turn on Nickelodeon, Disney, PBS, whatever you want to say, you'll always see something where there's some type of homosexual characters, homosexual situation, or homosexual act taking place. Now, if it happens in the television shows or the adult content that we consume, for the most part, we can handle that. We draw the line when it comes to our children. So now, and that's where the gay agenda came. People say there's agenda to manipulate the minds of our children. And people, and I always ask people, even back then, because anytime with it comes to homosexuality, I always kept my opinions to myself because I knew that I was still learning, even at a young age. And I can look back now and say, I'm glad I didn't speak on what I thought back then because my mind changed. I got a little wiser and I can speak a little bit more fluid now with what I know. So let me look at which camera am I going to look at? Let me look at let me look at the people on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Y'all heard me say this in last call a couple months ago. You're going to hear me say now. What is the nerd? Hold on real quick. Let me get my guy on stage. Nerd, come on stage. What's good, man? Nerd,
Yeah, man. I was trying to discuss this earlier today, but the leftists were, they were not having it.
Oh, tell them to come on in here because this is a controlled room, which means I'm in control. You're not gonna. Nobody's gonna be saying anything flagrant from both sides of the fence. We're gonna keep this thing respectful. We're gonna keep this thing educated. If we're going to agree to disagree, it's gonna be done in respect. I'm gonna show people how to run a room and stay within guidelines, so that way they can get their points across respectfully and still keep their accounts. So, listen, we're gonna do that today. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can ping in 30 more people before they tell me not to. Let me see. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me look at the camera. I just pinged in Cowboy. He needs to get in here because he's a co-host. What is the gay agenda? Here it is. Representation, symbolism. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. When it comes to the gay agenda, they want to be a part of everything that we do, whether it be in politics, whether it be in home ownership, whether it be in any type of social justice. They want to be a part of it. Here's why I don't have a problem with that. Because I am not a fan of symbolism. Those are for children. I told you, I try to tell my people this when it came to Black Lives Matter. As actually, Black Power really is more where I'm at versus Black Lives Matter. I'll revisit that topic later on because I did a 3-part series on YouTube in the month of February or last year, I believe. I don't do symbolism. I'm just like, don't just say, like, for example, with let's go back to 2020, 2 years ago. We had the world's attention. Black people were here because of the George Floyd situation. Then Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, so on and so forth. The world said, you know what? You guys got our attention. What do you want from us? Nobody said write a check. Nobody said write that check to some type of organization. They said, one of the first things they said was, can we wear a fucking t-shirt to work to express how black we are? I put my head down with the quickness. I was like, this can't be it. No, 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 no. And you know what they did with that? Besides them old ass people taking a knee in Nigerian garments, what else did they do? Black Lives Matter Boulevard. Oh, they you should have seen them. They blocked off both ends of the street just to write in yellow letters, Black Lives Matter. They're all Black Lives Matter. There's one that said trans Black Lives Matter. Nobody wrote a check. Nobody asked for some type of law to cater to them. Like, we need a law. We need some policies regarding black people. And some black people say, man, that can't be done. Who's going to do all that? What happened with I can't remember what bill it was, but it's where Asian. I got to think about what bill it was. It was last year. Because there was a period where there was Asian hate or Asian attacks going on around the country. Now there was something in play to where if you attack an Asian person, it could be considered a hate crime. Black people had the opportunity to say something. They didn't. They had an opportunity to put their own policy in play. They didn't. And the LGBTQIA, they took advantage, and now you have certain recent policies in place that favors them. Now, granted, there might be 3.5 million black people in the LGBTQIA as far as in this country, just for the record. So I guess they got their rights. But nevertheless, there was the opportunity for policies to be done for black people that it has not taken place. So this is why I tell people I don't have a problem with the gay agenda, because when I told you guys 2 years ago, stop worrying about symbolism, stop worrying about, oh, I just want to turn on the TV and see somebody that looks like me. Congratulations, you got what you wanted. Now look where we at. So right now, what those in the LGBTQIA community did, they backdoor and said, you saw the mistakes that they did. Let's not make that same mistake. Let's go ahead and handle this the right way. That's why I don't have an issue with the gay agenda, because black people had the opportunity to do something with their own agenda and they fucked it up 2 years ago. Hopefully the next time go around, we won't make that same mistake. I know that was a mouthful. I know what I said was probably not going to sit well with people who go back and listen to this on replay, but that's okay. I'm a firm believer of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Nothing LGBTQIA will be allowed or accepted in my household. But at the same time, at the bare minimum, I'm raising my son to treat them the same way I treat them, like a human being, because they deserve to be treated like one. So I know that was a mouthful. Those who's probably watching on replay, shout out to Jay on YouTube. He said, I want Patrice Waters arrested. I heard that from multiple people. Trust me, I heard that from multiple people. But as I ping some people in, you guys are more than welcome to talk about the gay agenda, or better yet, if you feel more comfortable, if you want to talk about what I said, you're more than welcome to do that.
Yeah, so we need to stop falling for the okie doke. Even when you see the situation with the whole monkeypox situation, the Black LGBT community is actually calling this out, but I just want to make sure that Black LGBTQ understand that you're Black first and LGBTQ second, because unfortunately in America, race is gonna determine.
Hey, keep going. I'll be right back. I got somebody at my front door. Keep going.
The race is gonna determine how you treat them first, because before they understand that you are LGBTQ,
Oh, all my trust is gone, bro.
that's probably not happening. But what is happening is that you see that the news coverage is weird. It's the opposite of COVID, where it's like, to me, COVID was hitting the Black community harder than this current monkeypox trend is showing up, at least in New York. But in Atlanta, it's kind of the reverse. And so if you're seeing the footage of the people who getting the vaccine, monkeypox vaccine in Atlanta and DC and other Black cities, it's also mostly white people, which is interesting because to my knowledge, from the research I've done down there, most of the people suffering from it are Black gay men. So I just want to caution the Black LGBTQ community to, again, recognize themselves as Black first, and to a certain extent, that may require a change in orientation on how they think, because I don't know, talking to some of them on Clubhouse, they seem to think that the rainbow flag comes before their Black skin, and it's just not going to work that way in reality, in terms of how you treat it from, like I said, from a medicine perspective, healthcare treatment, and then just a societal perspective of you're trying to, just like you said with the whole anti-Asian hate crime bill, again, a white person, they're going to come up to you and be racist to you first, and they won't even know if you're gay or not until they begin interacting with you. So I would just encourage them to, again, remember that you're Black first, and I'll land there.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and that has been the consensus when it comes to Black people and those in LGBT. Now the question is how many of it. Well, obviously, we don't have a direct what's what I'm looking for, direct number or exact number, but if LGBT is 7.2% of the U.S. population and Black people is 47.2%, I would say go ahead and do the math on that one. It's a little bit over 3.5 million. So that's a small number that is in the community that looks like us. Now it's hard for people to now in regards to that. I don't even touch that because I wouldn't necessarily know how to handle that or how to address that. Are you black first or are you LGBTQIA first? In most spectrums, I would assume that you're black first, not based off your pigmentation. Although if you get pulled over a cop, they're not gonna know if you're gay or not. They're gonna know if you're black, you're white, Hispanic, like, or whatever the case may be. That's just a thought, but that's a good point. Nerd, appreciate that. Who? Aya, how you doing?
Good, how are you? My service is fucked up.
It's all good. Yeah, it's kind of scratchy, but don't we'll make it work. Now, here's the thing. I spoke about this a few months ago on YouTube about what the gay agenda is. It's real simple. It's representation. It's symbolism. That's the best way I can sum up the gay agenda. Now, I want to. That's just my perspective of it, and my response to them is real simple. I'm gonna treat you like a human being because that's what you are. So you're gonna get the same level of respect I would give for anybody else. Now, this topic normally comes when it comes to that agenda being pushed to the children versus the school teaching them about it. But then again, here's the thing. Now, for the record, I stay in Texas, so this is not going to be a issue for me moving forward. But in other states, you can't tell the teacher, do not teach my kids A, B, C, D, because they're going to do it anyway, and they have the legal rights to do it. One thing I tell parents is to be the parent. Your child should not be only learning something at school. They need to be learning something at home. So that way, if you see something on the street, you already know how to handle yourself. You already know how to conduct yourself and carry yourself in class. Because at the same time, you're still carrying your father's last name, so don't screw it up. In regards to what's your take on that's my take on the gay agenda. What is your take on it?
I think the gay agenda is a bunch of bullshit, honestly. Like, a good example. So I started dating women 12 years ago. So I consider myself fluid. I hate labels, but I date who I want, whatever gender. Your penis and vagina does not matter to me. Like your soul matters to me, right? So for me, my sister was like, "Well, I have to tell your nephew." They were maybe 6 and 8, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Well, I had to sit them down and have a talk with them about you dating women." And I'm like, "Oh, like, why are you making it weird?" And she's like, "Well, it's kind of like the sex talk." I'm like, "No, it's not." I was like, why do you have to make it weird? Like, you don't sit down and say, a guy and a girl get together. Like, no, like, you're making it weird by making it a situation for me, right? Like, it shouldn't be a situation that we have to talk about. So my sister was like, you know what, you're right. So then what she told my nephew is, they're like, dates women. And they were like, okay. And they like run off. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was very normalized for them. Like, it's only weird if you make it weird, right? So I think that's what the gay agenda is that we're making it seem like we are some type of like weird fucking people that like we need to be like secretive or like, no, it's like it's genuinely just someone that you date the same sex. Like, what's so weird about it, right? And for me, with cartoons or movies and so forth, I think it's important to talk about and learn about, sexual orientation. Because it's normal. It's people make it a bigger deal, and now it's a situation like we're looked at like freaks, like we have to be talked about in some certain way. So for me, it's kind of like you guys have to stop thinking of it as being influential and start thinking of it as like acceptance and what's that word? Inclusive, right? Because there are a lot of kids that have 2 moms, 2 dads, right? And like they feel left out when they see a show that's just a man and a woman, right? So instead of thinking it as influence, it's inclusive to us that live that lifestyle, or whatnot. So for us to be kind of kicked out and kind of seen as freaks or, you know, something weird to talk about, it's weird to me. Like, I never came out. Like, that was fucking weird to me. Like, people that come out, I don't get it. Like, I'm like, dude, gay people don't have to come out. Like, I don't have to make it a deal. You know what I mean? That's my own take.
There are some people when they do come out, they want to make it a spectacle. And even though I did not speak on anything LGBT in my younger days because I was still in the process of learning about it and I didn't want to jump out there and change my mind about it later. My thing about Here's one thing that did stay the same. If those that came out, if you want to be treated as normal, why are you broadcasting that you're coming out the closet? Like now, granted, I know there's certain people where you might need to have a sit down conversation with them privately and tell them what's going on. That I understand. But to hold a phone, well, back then they did interviews and they let the whole entire world know. They call Barbara Walker, they call ESPN. They say sometimes it's football players or basketball players saying, "Come out, I am gay." That's what they would say is, "I am gay." And my taking on that is this. Now, if this comes off offensive to those in the LGBTQI community, my apologies. But when they come out, back then I was like, okay, so what? Are you going to play football next year? Or are you not going to play football next year? Because you want it to be treated like a human being. You want to be treated normal. I'm going to give you that. You have to see it as yourself to be normal as well. Whether I agree or disagree with your lifestyle is irrelevant. If the main goal is normalcy and being treated like a human being, there's ways to go about that. That's my take on that. But I do appreciate your take on this, Aya. Thank you. We got a lot more people in the room. Let me just quickly do a small reset just to let everybody know we are being broadcast live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Clubhouse as well. I want to let everybody know. Here's my thoughts on the gay agenda. It's all about symbolism and representation. That's it. Social, they want to be in the social realm, they want to be political realms, they want to be in home ownership realms, they want to, and certain things that they want to be part of. I don't have a problem with that because I told Black people about this a long time ago before this became a thing to stop worrying about symbolism. Nobody wanted to listen. Those of the LGBTQI community took advantage of that. Those of the Asian communities took advantage of that, and Black people are still left to hold the bag. So I blame a lot of this on Black people, and now they have to live with it. Certain Black people, when it comes to, I blame Black people for in regards to symbolism. Instead of wanting change for the community, they're okay with Black Lives Matter Boulevard. They're okay with wearing a T-shirt instead of getting some type of policies in place for Black people, whether it's and also in the political realm. What Black people want, Black people had an opportunity to get what they want, and they screwed up. So what did those of the LGBTQI community did, which I don't have a problem with it because that's very strategic. They said, "Oh no, 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 we're gonna get that anyways, but we need some policies to protect us." I don't fault them for that. That's strategic. I expect them to do that. Salute to them. When there was at a time period where there was a temporary period of Asian hate crimes being taken place. There was a policy put in place to protect Asian people. I don't have a problem with that. We gotta act like human beings at the end of the day. Now, Black people are saying, "What about us? Why not we do it? Well, how come we don't get no policy in place? You had the fucking opportunity in 2020, you blew it." And that's why I don't have a problem with the gay agenda because they did what Black people couldn't do. What I said was not the most popular thing to say. I get it and I understand. But here we are. So only thing Black people should do now is take notes. Take extensive notes of what those of the LGBTQIA community did to get the policies in place. because I can't do nothing but salute them and applaud them, give them a standing ovation. That's what I mean about symbolism, children, and that type of stuff. Black people had the opportunity to shoot the three and win, and they bricked it miserably. But that's my take on it. I didn't want to go on a tirade. My bad for those who are watching. But let's go on to the next speaker. Jay, Asma, Cowboy, Moa, what's going on?
I definitely agree with the fact that they lobby their legislation very, very effectively. However, I don't really like how the agenda is being pushed on children. I don't like how they have to include it in every child show. I don't like how they want to create it, put it in Disney shows. I don't like how Biden wanted to create something where children could not get free lunch if they don't put that in the curriculum. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you pushing the agenda on children so hard? Like, just let that person choose when they're of age. But you're putting that in front of their faces, and then more and more people are going to be confused about their identity because it's literally everywhere. Like, every show has to have multiple gay people. Every original Disney movie has to edit it out and then create a gay character. Why does that need it? Like, I understand the inclusion aspect of it. I really didn't like the fact that gay people are being bullied and murdered and stuff like that's not right. But at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their beliefs, and I don't really understand why cancel culture is so hard. Allow people to have their own views, their religious views, this, that, and the third. They're allowed to disagree on social media without being chastised. Like, everybody has their own upbringing. And if you want to effectively have a dialogue with the individual. But canceling them off the bat, that does not make any sense to me. Like, questioning what a woman is, that does not make any sense. Like, the aspects of that culture, I can't really respect or condone. But I do believe that you're entitled to whatever orientation that you choose, and people should respect that. I do believe that. But the agenda should not be pushed on children, and cancel culture to allow people to be redeemed and explain themselves before they cancel an individual.
Aya brought a great point. Uh, my son's friends, well, he had actually seen that now because he goes to daycare. And I seen the couple of times I dropped him off, I seen the parents. I know that his friends got two parents, or whatever the case. Maybe my guy, I need a word outbreak. Philip, Philip, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will contact you as soon as I'm done. Give me like 30 minutes. Um, now the question is, what am I going to tell my son about that? Because he's going to come home, he's going to tell me about it. I'm going to tell him this. Your friend's mother decided to make a decision based on her feelings, based on her happiness. And guess what? That is her right to do. What you're going to do, and the fathers as well. Fathers, I don't want to be, I don't want to leave nobody out. They made a decision to be happy and live their life. That's within their God-given right to do. Now, we're firm believers of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. How do we conduct ourselves when that situation comes? Real simple. Number one, when they see us, they better see love first before you even treat them like a human being. They better see the love of God within you first, then you proceed to treat them like a human being. Because with those combined, you will never, ever mistreat them, harm them, any case it may be. Jesus, cowboy, where you been at, my brother? Here the mob bass. Come up here. Sorry, y'all. It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys in the building. Now we're waiting for two motherfuckers to come in here. Because they're the main reasons why I am starting this room. Real quick, before I go back to my soliloquy, how did this conversation started? Friday we was in the room. Cowboy was going back and forth with the gentleman or lady, I don't know the preference, my apologies, by the name of Marmar. They was getting the conversation about the gay agenda. Marmar and Queen was in agreement against Cowboy, and I said, why are we having a Tuesday conversation on a Friday? Let us talk about this on Tuesday so we can square this away. I'm gonna make this much simpler than people are making it out to be. So that's why we're here. So, Cowboy, talk to me. What is on? Well, actually, let me finish what I'm saying. In regards to children, it's real simple. Tell them that their parents decided to choose their own version of happiness, whatever that may look like. Your job is to treat them with love and respect. Because me, I was bullied growing up. Believe it or not, some people looking at me on camera. You got bullied? Yeah, I was bullied. I wasn't always 6'1", 300 pounds. Are you streaming this? Oh yeah, we are live stream on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course Clubhouse. We're streamed 5 different ways currently. Yeah, I do this quite often. Haven't done this in a while. This will be the last time I stream from this location. The next time you guys see me stream will actually be in Detroit, Michigan, and after that you'll see me stream in my new location when I get that set up. But yes, even I got bullied, and I take bullying very seriously. If I find out my son is a bully, the belt is coming out. I don't play that. I don't care what that person is, what decision they decide to make. And I don't care. If I find out you're a bully, I'm running up to that school solely to put my foot in your ass. I don't play that. But Cowboy, what is your take on this gay agenda? And also, real quick, can you? I don't know what's going on. Maybe because I'm on my iPad with this Clubhouse. Can you guys ping people into this room? Because I don't know if Clubhouse is just resetting my ping because it seems like I'm pinging the same person in here. So y'all can ping people into the room. I would greatly appreciate it. Cowboy, what is your thoughts on the gay agenda?
I don't too much care about your sex. Just keep that shit away from our kids. Like, if you want to, what you do in your house is what you do.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got two cowboys in the building. I am so sorry. Yeah, you got two cowboys. Jesus, we're gonna have to fix this.
Yeah, this is confusing.
All right, we're definitely gonna have to fix this. Hold on. Dang. Let me get to the moderator, Cowboy, and then I'm gonna get to the I'm gonna get to you, brother. I promise.
All right, bro.
You waiting on me?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I mean, it's like where to start. You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be like this idea that, okay, they're saying they're born that way. That's whatever. They're doing their thing, whatever. The biggest issue that I used to see was them trying to get into St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston because they wouldn't allow them to have a float in the St. Patrick's Day parade, right? So that was the biggest issue I've ever seen. Like every year it was the same argument, right? The Irish were, they weren't having it. But now it seems like they're trying to groom our children, and it seems that it's working. You can't tell me that there's that many trans, children being born into the world. If we're supposed to believe that they're born that way, why would there suddenly be so many trans, children being born? And really, I think it's a thing of getting of attention getting. I mean, one guy talked about, there was a kid in his son's school, that was wearing a dress and like they were little, 5, 6 years old, whatever. And one of these, the kid, the boy was wearing a dress. So then his son wanted to wear a dress too because he saw the attention that this little boy was getting wearing a dress. He wasn't thinking about anything sexual. He just wanted attention. And I think that, and so when they talk about even giving hormones, at a young age, the hormone blockers, whatever they're doing before puberty, it's like, these kids are going to become adults and then they're going to change their mind. Now, what are you going to do? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm about children, man. You got to protect the kids. When you become adult, do whatever that you want as long as you're not harming somebody else. But children, they're off limits. I mean, for real. Let them be kids. T people in this room.
Are there anybody who identify as a transgender? I believe the answer is currently no.
What about transracial?
I'm not playing with you. Go ahead, Cowboy. Go ahead. Talk to me. Oh yeah. Also, real quick before I let you go, um, let's stay within community guidelines. We're going to stay within community guidelines when we have conversations like this, okay? And I was like, Cowboy, what happened to you?
I got pinged in the
Okay, it's all good. It's all good, man. We're going to stay within community guidelines. We're going to be respectful with our words. So that way we can have this dialogue and people can understand where we're coming from. Whether they agree or disagree is remains to be seen. But at the bare minimum, they need to know you're coming from a place of respect. So, Cowboys, all you.
the other Cowboy summed it up perfectly.
Can I go, Chris? Which cowboy? Me or Cowboy Junior?
We ain't calling.
My big brother Cowboy.
All right, youngster, go ahead and get it, man.
Cowman. Hey, so I have a family member who transitioned during their teenage years, a trans man, born with a female chromosomes, and if I ever have children, I don't know how I feel about like exposing them to that person because like they went all the way full on, like they have facial hair now, amputated they had a double mastectomy, I guess if that's what it's called in medical terms, and we are to relate to them as a man, and it's something that is just really, like I studied psychology in college. I know about body dysmorphia, and I know about people end up regretting it a lot of the time. In fact, most of the time, it's painful because it's like knowing that's in my family. Does that mean that if I have kids, my kid is going to have a higher propensity to be a community member? I mean, it's distressing to me. I mean, obviously, you love them the same, but the trans thing, that's tough. Because it's like, you don't want to disrespect your family member, but if you fundamentally are having a hard time, because it's like I'm having to engage in this make believe thing. I'm having to play dress up as a grown up person, and it's just I don't know. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot. Like they transitioned extremely young. They were a teenager. They went to their prom as a transitioned person. Like that's how young they were. And my family being the way that it was, they just let it go, accepted it. It wasn't a big deal. It was like first it was referred to this person as such. They want to be called a different name. Then it was they want to be called a different gender. Then it was they are a different gender. So it's just a lot. I'm done.
Yeah, with that can be extremely tough with the kids, and like when you see those who are not related to you, it's kind of easier to explain to children. Like I said, you need to treat them with love and respect. Now, when it comes to family member, it's still love and respect, but it's a mixture of something else. Like this is different. So how do we handle this? The best thing to do is I don't know how old your children are, but I don't think children are too old for this conversation. It's just that you have to cater to your children, the language, as far as explanations. Like, I can't say that I believe there needs to be sex ed taught in school, but not say that we should avoid talking anything LGBTQIA to the children. You just had to cater to their language barrier. Like I'm not going to have a full fledged adult conversation with my 4 year old in regards to him seeing a transgender in the actually a transgender in the family. Transgender street that's different. Still love and respect, but in family, I'm not gonna have adult like conversation with them. I'm gonna break it down and say, look here, here's what's going on. Your Let me just throw a hypothetical out. Your uncle is changing into your auntie. Your uncle is decides to transition to be a auntie now. Now here's the thing: you're you're going to have to treat her with love and respect until we get this figured out. And what I mean by getting this figured out of how I can further explain this to you so you can understand full like to fully comprehend what's going on. But until then, your uncle is now your auntie, and you need to treat her with love and respect. Now, just like any adult, if any adult says anything crazy that I'm against, we don't keep secrets in this family. You need to come talk to me, and I'll take care of it from there. I don't need no child fighting an adult battle. There's ways to handle this situations like this. It's just that we just have to be ready to learn something new, learn something different. And what one doesn't work, that doesn't mean it's completely over. We just got to find new solutions. Nothing LGBTQIA is going away. It's been around since the Bible days. It's just now it's not as taboo anymore. So there's a certain level of normacy that you're going to have to upkeep. There's still standards in the household that you need to keep up with, but there's always going to be love and respect that we have to have amongst each other, whether there's a real gay agenda or not. I believe there is. It's just representation and symbolism, and that's it. They want to see it in the political world, which they have. They want to see it in their policies in place. Matter of fact, if I recall correctly, June is Pride Month and October is Pride History Month. The LGBTQIA took advantage of what Black people were supposed to do, and I cannot fault them. That's why I don't have a problem with the agenda because they was able to capitalize where we failed. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? I can't hear you.
I think my question is that LGBTQ took that away from the Black community.
Say that one more time.
You're saying LGBTQ took away opportunity from Black people.
Oh no, they capitalized where the Black people failed, and I can't fault them for that because that's very strategic. Because that's something I do on the regular. I can't fault somebody for doing the same tactics that I do on the everyday basis.
Right. Like, do you think we should blame the LGBT or even?
No, Black people. No, Black people needs to hold that out. Black people needs to hold that out. I'll be the first one to say it.
That's why I'm confused as of why it's being brought up in this conversation with LGBT.
Because my thing is with symbolism and representation, I don't need that. I never needed that. Hey Malika, how you doing, sweetheart? I never needed that. I don't think we needed that. Like for example, growing up, depending on where you guys at, you guys may have a amusement park called Six Flags. Ours was called Six Flags Astroworld before it got torn down. You did not see any Black people on the commercials when it comes to the advertisement. Did you think that was going to stop me from going to Six Flags or stop my family? No, we go where we want to go. We don't care if we're in the movies. We don't care if we're in the TV show. What is our personal agenda? What is our long-term goals? What is our short-term goals? I'm just talking about as far as my as far as family goes. My guy T, I haven't seen you in a minute. What's good, brother? And it's just I don't need to see me on TV because wherever I want to go or whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. Whether I see me in this company or in this business or in this field or not. That's why I don't like symbolism. That's why I don't like this whole thing about representation. Like I don't see us in there. Then go put yourself there. Be the initial person. I'm gonna be the first if nobody's there. So what the LGBTQIA community is doing is where they don't see themselves in, they're saying, I'm gonna put myself there. Now what you're gonna do? All I'm saying is people can't do nothing but respect that. They bully their way in a good way. And when I say that's, I'm using it in a good way when I say they bully their way. They bone rush their way into politics. They bone rush their way into politics. They bone rush their way into TV, into these other fields, and now to new fields that is making people feel slightly uncomfortable. Like I said, maybe I'm saying this from a privileged place because I stay in Texas and I know what Texas is going to allow and what Texas is not going to allow. But everybody else, they're saying, "Oh, why they moving? Why they infiltrating this area?" My question is this: Black people, why did you not infiltrate that area to begin with? Now you're on the sidelines looking in when it comes to things that should matter to the community. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a fan of symbolism. I'm not a fan of representation. But when other people want to ignore what I've been trying to show them, I've been trying to tell them, and other people start to do the exact same thing and they want to complain, no, you have to keep the same energy. That's what I'm
Let's
saying.
be realistic. You know, it's not that Black people, haven't been doing the work. The problem is that we did all the work. We even held the door open, not just for, that community, but other communities as well. And because, we got to remember what country we're in. You know what I'm saying? This country has an agenda against Black people. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, oh, there are other communities that we can claim are marginalized. Well, let's let them through the door, that the Black people open. And when these people walk through the door, instead of recognizing, that we are the ones who opened it and said, you know what, if you're going to let us in, you got to let our Black friends in. What they did was they closed the door behind them. Now we got to break down this door, or we have to find another route around to get to where they at, even though we built that path to begin with. So this is an ongoing thing that happens to us in America. So it's not that we haven't been putting in the work. It's that we've been ignored. You know what I'm saying? I mean, realistically, that's what's happened. Because when something pops off, they want Black people's help again. And unfortunately, especially with Black women are quick to try to help another community. Oh, they'll be out there with signs and shit. You know what I'm saying? But those same communities, they don't come out for us. And that's where we got to stop helping others, because they're not helping us out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're very open to, any community, but they're not open to us. They close their doors.
Well, and historically speaking, you're absolutely correct. But 2 years ago, I think Black people had an opportunity and they dropped the ball. That was my biggest pet peeve. Y'all wouldn't believe how pissed I was, because when you pray to God for something, God blesses you with it, and you drop the blessing. Nothing infuriates me more. I think Black people had the opportunity when after George Floyd was murdered. Black people had the opportunity. America was ready to give us whatever we want. What did we ask for? The right to wear a fucking t-shirt that said Black Lives Matter. And what these punk ass politicians did, not only take a knee with African garments on, what the fuck? But they decided to go to Home Depot, buy all the yellow paint, block off the street, and paint Black Lives Matter. Are you fucking serious? I will never forgive Black people for that moment. I still love my people. They had an opportunity and they dropped the ball. Now we're just going to have to wait for that opportunity to turn around in that field. So what Black people should do till then is focus on people on YouTube can still hear me. Um, Now I just want Black people to really just, now we're going to have to really focus on us and not rely on anybody else. for the most part. And we'll go, and of course, people know we'll go in details with that in October. That's my take on that. Mr. Dubois, Troy, T-Box, Malika, if you guys have any final comments, now will be the time because we're going to transition to the final commercial. We're going to do last call, and it's going to be in regards to a situation.
Test. Okay, my apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. My son called just to check up on Daddy to see how he was doing. I love that boy to death. I told him I was going to give him a call back. But that's the show, ladies and gentlemen, the main show. Let's go ahead and get to the final episode, final commercial, and then we will be right back for last call. Now, when did you guys brace yourself? Although we was talking about sensitive subject in regards to the gay agenda, there was a situation that happened on Clubhouse earlier today in regards to suicide. Someone made a suicidal threat. We're going to talk about that after the commercial break. Today's episode is brought to you by Aubrey Noel, home of the sophisticated lashes. Even during the pandemic, yes, eyelashes is still a necessity. You might not be able to go full on makeup because you got to wear masks everywhere you go. So focus on the areas you can't focus on, i.e. your eyes. And that's where Aubrey Noel comes into play. Today, I want to introduce you to Pixie. Ain't she a beaut? She'll even look better on you guys. When you guys get your chance, go to AubreyNoel.com. You get a better look at Pixie and sort through all the eyelashes. You got Monroe, you got Zola, you got other eyelashes that I can guarantee that you guys are going to fall in love with. Go ahead and fill up your shopping carts and look good during this pandemic. You can still be the best you, even wearing a mask. So go to AubreyNoel.com. Again, AubreyNoel.com. Also, you can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's AubreyNoelle. Aubrey Noel.
I know it's kind of bad.
Yeah, you went
That's
on
all
to
that happened. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard, man. You don't get these help sometimes. Yeah, but like women having these friends that now they trying to basically say that that real women have dicks. I saw that slogan the other day. Real women have dicks. I was like, okay. I mean, it's all it's all out there. Like they ain't trying to hide. So now it's like women you wanted to have the gay friend around you, and now at the point everybody's not trying to replace you. People don't even you can't even say what a woman is on national TV anymore. But I'm not going to talk too long because my signal is bad. But yeah,
It's all good, man. I appreciate it. My bad. I had to leave the room because my iPad had 23% on it, and it just immediately died for whatever reason. So my apologies for that. But let's um let's get into one last call. One last thing before we go. I'm gonna talk about a situation that happened today on Clubhouse. I won't mention anybody's name. There's two people. There's at least three people, maybe four people on stage right now that was in this room that I'm talking about. Please do not mention that sister's name. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, women weaponizing their femininity for evil is a real thing. See, if you just sit back and just let people talk, they'll tell you who they are. There was a young lady. Now she's been room hopping for weeks now, and I seen her. I spoke to her on the back channel on Clubhouse. I gave her some more encouragement, like you're gonna. Well, I'm not gonna reveal that conversation. Um, I just knew that something was off with her. Now, granted, I don't believe modern feminists are real feminists. We'll talk about that in another episode. I was just peeping game, and it's like, okay, I see what this is, but I'll just keep my distance and keep my mouth shut. She hasn't come talk crazy to me or came crazy at me, so that's the only reason why I've spoken up. Now, there was a room today. It's great. I can't much remember what the room was about, but you guys go on my profile. I'm pretty sure you guys can find it. It's just the fact that there are some women that think life, everything should be catered to them. And because you're a woman or somebody with pretty privilege, that everything should be for you. There should be no fairness. So when she talked about something, one young lady was able to call her out on her BS. Respect, and she did it respectfully, of course. The problem is this person didn't take it respectfully. She started crying. Now here's the thing: I know crocodile tears when I see them. So I didn't. So I didn't believe a word. I didn't believe a single tear that she shed. Now, when nobody believed her, she brought up, "Are y'all gonna be feeling this way if I decide to commit suicide because all the stuff I'm going through?" Then the room mysteriously disappeared. I don't know why. It might be maybe because of legal reasons. What I'm about to say is extremely harsh. I understand mental health is a real thing. I understand suicide is definitely a real thing. But I understand this because I know people like to throw that out there to gain sympathy points as well. A lot of people don't know that. So the question is, or how do I feel about it? It's real simple. Ladies and gentlemen, what you go through, the hardship that you go through to the point where you feel like I'm actually going to end my life, ladies and gentlemen, that's a slow Tuesday for me. I just have to come out and say it. What you think is extreme, here's something I always say to people: what's a 10 to you might be a 2 or 3 to me. I don't jump at it. I don't jump at people when they say they're going to commit suicide unless I know they're going to commit suicide. Here's the thing with this young lady: you want it to be treated like an adult, I'm going to treat you like an adult. You going through something like everybody else is, that's fine. You have a phone in your hand. You spend all day on this app. Why don't you Google a therapist? Or better, why don't you call your insurance provider? Ask them what therapist is in your network. They're going to send you a list of therapists in your network. You pick one. You go to one, and you filter them out till you find the right one. How much all this cost? Free 99. Yes. If you have medical insurance, if you go see a therapist, it's for free. Or at the bare minimum, you're paying pennies to the dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried that on my own. I went to therapy 3 times in my lifetime. 2 times was with my father because my father knew early therapy was the key. And what did I do 2020, maybe slightly before the pandemic or the whole thing when it shut down? I went to a therapist. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I didn't know what I could be going through, but it's like, let me go talk to somebody. And it was the best decision I made in my life. If you're going through something, I don't care how big or small it is, take your ass to therapy. Go get help. If you can't do it by yourself, there are actual people who will walk with you through the process. I'll walk through the process with you once you prove to me that you actually mean that shit. I don't believe this woman. And here's another thing that's going to make me come off as a bad guy. If she's actually crazy enough to go through with that, her blood is on nobody's hands but hers. This is why a lot of people don't like men talking. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. You don't want to commit suicide around me because I'm not going to let you. Or better yet, I'm going to test your gangster to see how real you are. And once we find out that you're a fraud, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to carry you to a therapist. See, I do things different and I get results. Don't come with me with no suicide threats. 2 things going to happen. And one of them most definitely is I'm going to see where your heart is at. I'm going to push you to therapy in a different way, in an unconventional way. And there's going to be results. Stop playing with the suicide thing. People actually go through this. People actually go through some type of chemical balance. People actually hear voices in their heads and they cannot stop. Do not play suicide with anybody. No one. We don't play around with that. Too many people have lost somebody due to suicide. Don't come to me with suicide. I take that very seriously. Floor is open. Y'all can talk about it. Then we can end the show.
Yeah, I mean, I was there, and it was interesting because, it was her and another woman that was talking about men's tone. They were tone policing. And I was trying to get off that topic in the first place because that wasn't the topic. And, it's a typical thing. Men start talking about what women need to do when they're making good points. It's like, well, it's just your tone. You know what I'm saying? And, it was just crazy because the tone policing. And then the other, woman came in and was like, you're tone policing, but I heard you in another room saying X, Y, Z, like pretty much your tone wasn't good towards men. So now you're in here talking about these men's tone when they're talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Which was basically what she was saying, And this chick, when she, was being addressed, she decided to say that she was attacked.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to in the live right now.
The other woman out of her name, called her a bitch.
YouTube later on today. I know I said I was going to make some announcements.
So
We're going to put that on hold when I'm in better spirits.
Because
like I said, you guys, I'm putting the suicide thing. And I really got to me. More so than I thought I did. But other people, this is the B.TS Show. Mr. J. Like, the video, subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Donate my super chat. Participate with all the rights property. So, on the way to 1,000 subscribers, once you reach that goal, I'll give away $100 to one lucky person. All right. And also,
cornered
as a
because I've
disclaimer,
cornered you with
the audience
logic.
views does not reflect the
I'm not
opinions
gonna my face. I'm not gonna
of
budge. I'm
sponsors
not gonna
or
budge. It's
those
all
affiliated
started.
with
You
the
know what I'm saying?
B.TS Side Show.
And I knew
Thank you
you know,
guys.
when I
The
hit
next
that
time you guys
direction,
see me
start
in the Skype,
crying.
we will be in
And
Detroit,
then next thing
Michigan,
you know, she was
September
talking about,
17th. So
you know,
you guys stay tuned to that. I can't wait. I'm be extremely excited.
You know what I'm
So
saying? And
y'all check in with that.
got
Other than people, I'm Christopher J. I will see you guys in Detroit. Peace out.
We were having a good discussion. An entire room, a full room, got boomed.